Folks, we've got part 3 of a 6-part episode, a 6-part series, documentary series of Bill Anderson's 50th anniversary celebration of his illustrious career that is still ongoing in country music as a songwriter, performer, host, all these sorts of things. So let's get into it. This is a gift of funRonni. It's an hour-and-a-half special, so Ronnie made the equivalent of 6 gifts to the channel for me to do this one. And this is going in the documentary series playlist. So you can thank funRonni for this education. There's funny stories that these folks are telling about Bill. And it's being hosted by Vince. And so you know there's going to be an air of humor there because Vince is a very, very funny dude.
Okay.
Is that when he became Screaming Bill Anderson?
Yeah, he got
Instead of whispering.
Yeah, I taught him to holler.
Oh, man. Well, no, back in the day, I know a lot of musicians would get gigs if they could fit in the uniform and drive the bus.
That was it.
Oh, I had another one. Fit in the uniform, drive the bus, and field ground balls in the infield. I had a softball team.
That's right.
Yeah, and after the guy proved he could play and fit in the clothes, I'd time see how fast he could run to first base before I hired him.
Well, I know you're excited the Atlanta Braves are in the playoffs.
How about that? Yeah, I really am.
Your beloved Braves. I know you're a baseball fan, a basketball fan, and did you come by that honestly? Were you an athletic kid? Did you play ball as a
I
kid?
don't know. Look over there to that picture. Does that look athletic? I don't know.
You look like a lefty. Are you playing first base?
I was playing first base. Well,
Okay.
a left-hander can't play but a few places.
That's what I'm
He can
saying.
pitch
That's
and
the
he can
only
play
place they
first
could
base.
put a lefty, it seemed like.
I pitched baseball in high school, and then when got up here and started playing softball, I played first base most. I played football for a couple of years and learned a lot of great lessons from it. The greatest lesson was that's a rough game.
Yeah.
I don't need to be out there playing that. But I'm like you. I love sports. It's kind of a hobby of mine, and whatever's in season is what I love. I just never was like you, and I never got good at golf. I cannot play golf.
Golf is what made me a good guitar player. I couldn't putt. When I found out I couldn't putt very good, I started practicing guitar. But I was just curious if, so many of us, we have so many different loves, and I know there's a lot of people in athletics that might be baseball player, basketball player that are drawn to musical people.
Mm-hmm.
And you find that grass is greener kind of thing. And, boy, I wished I could have done that. And I was that way with sports. And I just assumed you were because we see each other at the Vandy games all the time.
Vanderbilt.
Well, I think we athletes and entertainers are kind of drawn together. We have similar lifestyles. We live out of a suitcase. We travel. We're kind of in the spotlight and this kind of thing. And for us, the sports is kind of a release. For them, the music is kind of a release, and it does kind of draw you together. And like you, I have some wonderful friends in athletics and sports, and I consider those among my treasured friends.
Great. I think old John Anderson came to see you today. Where are you, John?
Come to see y'all.
My brother John.
How you doing, Mr. Bill?
John.
Good to see y'all.
People have wanted to know all these years, if Lynn Anderson and I were married, and, if John was our son, Sparky was your dad. And
There we
he
go.
is, right, Lynn?
Of course he is.
Yeah, of course he is.
Baby.
Y'all got the same hair.
I've been a good boy.
The perfect package show. The perfect package show. Let's do it.
That's great.
We're ready.
Now,
This is a family reunion. I want to say what a pleasure it is being here today, Bill, for you, and congratulations. I have had the opportunity, a wonderful opportunity, to sit and write with Bill for a day or two, and I hope we can do that again soon.
We need to finish that one song
Yes,
we
sir.
started. We got off on one and never got it quite finished,
Well,
did we?
we'll finish it.
Yeah,
Yes,
You're a
sir.
great writer and one of everybody's favorite singers, John. I'm proud we share the same last name.
Yes, sir.
Seminole
Likewise.
win.
And I do want to say what an inspiration you've been. Growing up in Florida, of course, we got just a couple or three of the country music shows down there every week, and yours was one of them. And, of course, one of the shows that I tuned into every week and watched and listened, and soon became so in love with country music that I found myself moving up here. So I'll always thank you for that.
What
and
you did
Porter
was you looked at
Lester
Dad and you
and
said,
Earl.
if he can make it, anybody can.
Yeah, no, I'm afraid that wasn't it. No,
Thank you.
no, sir. But again, thanks for the great inspiration and all the wonderful songs and
Thank you,
records.
John.
God bless
You know, one of my favorite stories about John is when he first came to town. He worked on the Opry House in
Sure
building.
did. Yes, sir.
And,
Put the roof on it.
That's right. We just recently reopened the Opry House after the big flood that came here in May, and
Well, it wasn't the roof that was leaking, though.
it wasn't the roof.
Yeah, roof didn't leak.
That's funny.
But I learned an awful lot sitting up on the roof of that old Grand Ole Opry. I used to tell those boys working there, I said, the stage at that time was just a pit, a hole with rebar sticking out of it. And I always thought, boy, if anybody ever falls down there, that's going to be tough. So I used to point down at that old hole. It's about 30 feet deep from the regular floor level. And I'd say, one day I'm going to play on that stage. Oh, yeah, everybody says that. So it took a while, but I made it. Yes, sir. I did get to play.
And then you built the roof.
Johnny, would you be kind enough to lay a little Bill Anderson song on us?
I sure, let me go get my guitar and
All right, pal.
get squared away here.
I told him one night on Opry backstage when I was hosting that show, he was telling the story about the roof, and I said, you know, it must be quite a feeling to go from nailing the roof on to standing on the stage and raising the roof
Amen.
with the
Yeah.
applause that he got.
He can get it done. He's one of the greatest singers ever.
Well, he's a stylist. He's such
Exactly
a great
right.
stylist, and I miss the great stylists
I agree
of
with
this
you.
business.
You know, you hear him on the radio, and you know exactly who it is. And also, a lot of the old singers were, I don't mean to use the word old, but the great phrasers. You know, great singers are not beat singers. You know, great singers are singers that have a way of singing and having a pocket and a cadence and a phrasing thing
Phrasing, I
that
like
makes
that.
them special. That's the real art of great
like that.
singing.
Like Ray Price singing, I don't
Exactly.
believe he made those lights.
Exactly, exactly. I showed you how it would sound if you sang on the beat.
Y'all don't get too much in that. I'm fixing to have to do the same thing. I wish I could. Yes. Again, the record that I learned this song from was our dear friend Porter's record. And again, he was one of the only shows that they piped in down in the swamps in Florida. So I'll see if I can do this song justice. It's I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand.
Is that the song? Yep. I reacted to this. They're going to sing along with it, I bet.
I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. You look lovelier tonight than I remember. I'm so glad I got to see you once again. I enjoy just sitting down and reminiscing. But I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. So you say you're happy now, you found a new love.
Good.
Tell him I think he's a lucky man. No, I don't think I have time to see his picture. I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand.
I love the facetiousness in this.
There's so much more between us than this table. All those years, all those dreams, all those plans. Yes, you know about me saying I still love you.
I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. That's a great song. There's so much more between us than this table. All those years, all those dreams, all those plans. Guess you know about me saying I still love you. But I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. Yes, I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. I love that song. I didn't know Bill wrote that.
Made me believe it.
How you think of that?
Enjoyed as much of this as I can take. My goodness, that was good. Thank you, John, and the band.
Yeah, what about that band?
You know, there's three guys in this band that have been band members of mine and traveled and played a lot of these songs before. Mike Johnson on the steel and Dirk Johnson on the keyboards and Les Singer on the acoustical guitar. They're terrific along with all the rest of them.
I thought the sheriff would have too.
We're gonna, four of us get to go together and do a different kind of tribute to you later.
Won't be the first time they've done it.
You know, those are some of the great stories, you know, that go on through the years. I had a story that I'd been told that was told for years about you, and I finally went to you and I said, I've heard this story my whole life. Is it true? And you finally set me straight. You said, well, the story is true, but it wasn't me. And I just love, you know, the stories that get passed down. I just recently read the biography of Buck Owens, and it just so many things. I just love discovering stuff. I be honest, there was some of these songs today I didn't know you wrote. I felt like a fool, but at the same time, I was going, wow, it doesn't surprise me. That's why it's a great song. And I just I think that so oftentimes we get caught up in too much stuff that doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. You know, and we talk about things that are surfacey. And I brought that story up because it's the truth. It's funny. I'm not going to tell it because it's a little on the edge. But
Yay!
I think the truth is such an engaging thing, so much more interesting than that stuff that we often live on the surface with.
Well, you go back to what Harlan said, or Harlan is credited with being the one that said it. You know, country music is three chords and the truth. And there's a lot of truth in these old songs. I had my heart broken awful bad before I moved to Nashville. I don't know if you've noticed, but in nearly every one of these songs so far, they've been singing about this third person that you're still in love with or something. You know, so there was an awful lot of truth in some of those early songs.
Well, I think that I'll ask you this: did people come to you and ask you if songs were autobiographical?
Oh yeah.
When you be reviewed or be interviewed, things like that, because I get the same thing, you know, that I write songs and well, is this about you? Is this about you? And sometimes you think, well, I can't even have an imagination. Everybody's got to perceive everything as verbatim. I do that with Loretta's songs. And I'm aware of it. Like I make comments like, this is consistent with her. I'll make a comment like, this is consistent with her life. But I don't know if it's about her life because she could just be writing a song generically, so to speak, or just imaginatively or creatively. But when it's not that she's pigeonholed, but she's so open about her relationship with Dew and all that when you look at or hear her songs, whatever they are, whether she wrote it or not, you're wondering, you may not know if this is about her life or not. And that's kind of like what Vince is just talking about here, where they're sort of like he said, like, no,
I'm being creative. That's all this is. This is not about my life. But it's an occupational hazard. It's what happens in that when you're a prolific songwriter and you're in the public sphere as a performer, people are going to wonder.
Of your life.
Yeah, I wrote a song one time, never got it recorded, but I answered that sometimes. I said, the truth doesn't always rhyme. and so you can't just totally write.
Yeah.
Right.
Occasionally you can. I've got a few songs that are right down to the word exactly the way they happen, but a lot of them you have to embellish them in certain places if you want to make them rhyme.
Bill, I have a question for you, if I can ask.
Rhonda?
How did you take these songs to the artists, or did you have a publisher pitching them to the artists, or how did you get these songs to all of these different artists?
In various ways.
Rhonda.
Rhonda, sometimes I was really pretty hesitant to play my songs for people. Nobody likes to be told that their kids are ugly. Yeah. You go in, you play a song, so I don't like that. So what I would do, I would make demos. I had my band, and at that time my band was on salary, so we could go into the studio anytime we wanted to and cut demos and all. And I would wait till I had 5 or 6 songs together. Usually, go in and do a demo session. Jan sang on a lot of them with me.
I love doing that.
Various people would,
And you sang them yourself?
I sang most of them myself. And that was the best thing I did, because I would sing them myself, and then my publisher would take them out and play them for people, and they'd listen. They said, I can sing it better than that. Give me that song. That's how I got so many of them cut.
That's perfect.
I'll ask you this question. Did you find that you've maybe felt sometimes that somebody would say, if that's such a great song, why didn't he cut it?
Oh, yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that a lot. And it probably at times kept me from getting songs recorded.
That has kept me from doing it. I've never pitched my songs to anybody else because I was always fearful of that response. If this is such a great song, why don't you cut it?
Yep, I got that.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. That's episode 3 of 6. This is good. I love this stuff, getting like these stories, and I like learning about the biz. Really good question Rhonda asked. And then you get the information about what it's like for somebody who's a performer to pitch a song to someone else. It's like, well, if it's so good, Bill, Vince, why don't you record it? Well, Bill didn't mind doing that, but he cut 6 or so demos at a clip. This way he would just give all of them to somebody and let them decide. Whereas Vince was like, I can't do that. So I'm guessing Vince just has a publisher say, you know what, hey, Billy Ray Cyrus or whomever, you might like this song. Yeah, I love this kind of stuff, Ronnie. I absolutely love it. So that does it for episode 3, folks, of Bill's 50th anniversary. Man, do I love this stuff. That's going in the documentary series playlist, of course, which is becoming more and more, or better and better populated. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. See you on another video, and keep rocking the country.
Exactly. I showed you how it would sound if you sang on the beat.
Y'all don't get too much in that. I'm fixing to have to do the same thing.